Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ. Hopefully I can talk okay. I'm starting to really feel the effects of a sore throat and everything, so some of my words may come out a bit kind of weird. Hopefully we'll get through this okay, because it's time for me to do Scrappy Action number 4. So if you have not seen any of the Scrappy September videos, there's a collaboration between Lydia, whose channel is February and June, and my channel on Scrappy September combined with Trashcraft. So I've been doing my usual Trashcraft Tuesday videos, and Lydia has joined me by doing a Trashcraft Thursday video. And then this Scrappy September was her idea originally, and this year I've jumped in and we've collaborated for the whole month, and it's coming to an end. So we've had Scrappy Actions, one every week in September. So this is the final one for Scrappy September, Scrappy Action number 4. And Lydia presented the Scrappy Action on Monday, so hop along and see that video if you haven't. All the links will be in the description box for your benefit. So as part of the Scrappy September, we came up with a few freebies for you. So this is Lydia's printable that's available for you. So these links will be in the description box as well. So this is her printable. There is one missing out of the corner of this because I have used it in my personal journal. So I'll just open up and show you this image here of the Trashcraft. So this is my journal entry for Trashcraft Tuesday, so I thought it was perfect to include that image on my Tuesday entry. And it's super cute. I think she did a beautiful job, as she always does. Just fantastic. So I'm looking forward to using the rest of those in my own journal. Awesome work, Lydia. And then this is the free printable from me. So again, the link will be in the description box, and it's a certificate for participating in Scrappy September. So whether you've watched or made things, it doesn't matter. You can download the certificate, and I've given you a choice of colours, so they print on the same page. There's a blue and green one here and a pink one. So you can choose which one suits you better, or you can use both in different places. It's up to you, and you can use them in your journal. That's the idea, ultimately, is to use them in your journal. But you could also put it somewhere else, you know, if you wanted to hang it on the fridge, or I don't know, wherever you might choose to use it, go for it. So first up, I am going to hopefully cut straight, although it won't matter too much if it's not straight, but let's try and be straight. I'm going to cut out my certificate, and Lydia used the blue-green one, which really surprised me because she normally uses a lot of pink, but it's really nice to mix things up from time to time, so good on her. And since she used the blue-green one, I thought I will use the pink one, which I may or may not have used anyway. I don't know. When I did them up, I didn't have any sort of preconceived notions of which one I would use. So for Scrappy Action number 4, it's to make a frame. So a frame using scraps. And the idea is, if you wish to, is to make a frame for your certificate. Now if you don't want to frame your certificate, then by all means just make a frame for something else. That's all good, and once it's framed, you can pop it in a pocket in your journal. You could hinge it in as a tip-in. You could turn it into a journaling card and have journaling on the back, which is probably what I will aim to do. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to tip it in or have it in a pocket. You could make it bigger and turn it into a framed tag. Literally, the ideas are endless. You could even frame it and maybe laminate it or something and pop it on the front of your September journal. Just throwing out some ideas here. Right, So I've got one of my glue pages here which is folded in half, and I am just going to glue it down to that for a start. And I've just printed this on regular photocopy paper. Oops, don't grab my empty glue stick. Because I knew I would be layering it up, so just regular paper is fine. But you could print it on a heavier paper or on cardstock, cut it out, and there you go, you're good to go. But since this is Scrappy September, the idea is to use up some of those scraps we all have hanging around. So there we go. So I've got out my scraps here that Lydia sent me. Lovely envelope full of goodies, and some of these are possibly not suited to what I want to do, but let's just see. And I want to try and use only scraps from Lydia for this. We'll see how we get on. So there's this bit of cardstock that's all painty and collaged and just delicious, and when I was looking at the scraps, I had planned to collage onto strips of paper, and I thought, well, I've got this beautiful strip here already. I do need to cut it down. So why not make one piece of the frame out of this? So that's what I'm going to do. First up, I'm going to cut it to the size I want. Oops, if I can see my grid lines. And I'm going to make each part of the frame in different segments, so they're not going to be joined at the beginning. A little bit of a different take on a frame to what I've done before, and I just wanted to have a play with some ideas. So, oops, I might just use my scissors for that. I don't really need to cut it with my knife. So I'm overlapping, or actually I might leave that for now. Could even put it alongside, but for my idea of what I want to do, I need to leave it longer so I can play with it. Right, so now I'm going to a strip of paper, and I'm going to collage it up with strips from Lydia. So hopefully everyone's having a good day. Let me know if you've been participating in Scrappy September. Have you headed along and printed out the freebies? Have you done something with them, or still thinking about it? We'd love to know how you've got on with Scrappy September. Have you enjoyed it? Has it been inspiring? You know, all those sorts of things. We love hearing your feedback. So I've really got very few plans on how this is going to look at the end. So the revelation to you will be a revelation to me as well. So I'm going to just trim along the edges of the strip of paper once I'm collaged up. Right, it's not quite wide enough, that bit. This bit's really pretty. It's got glitter on it. I love it. It's so cool. And I love it so much that I want to keep some of it, just a tiny wee strip. Don't know where that little fragment went. I don't know if you can tell in my voice that I've got a cold. Super annoying. Very frustrating. Just when I was feeling good after having had COVID, and then to go and get a head cold, it's just like, ugh. Like, really? Okay, that might be enough on that one, so do 2 more. And then we'll see how we put them together, which will be the interesting part. Right, I love this printable from Lydia. It's just a wee scrap that she sent me. I think it's super cool, and I've used quite a bit of it to date, so I haven't got much of it left. I'm going to preserve bits of it. They can go in my collage phone book. So I've got a little bottle of scraps I've been collecting of things that are too small for anything else to go in my collage phone book. So I need to do some work in that and get all those pieces laid down and off my desk. And then I can start all over again, filling up the bottle. So things like this piece will go in my phone book collage. Yes, I did say that correctly. I thought I'd fuddled my words, but it's all good. Okay, let's pop that bit down there. So I have shown my phone book collage book a couple of times. If you haven't seen it, then you'll probably see it sometime soon again. Right. Okay, now our third piece. What have we got left here? This is another really cool digital from Lydia. Let's cut off that white strip. Can't pick it up. Fingers are not working. And take a piece of it. Yep. Right, I think my glue page needs changing already. So there we go. We're going to use up one and we're making another one. Well, make another couple actually. Oh, I didn't realise it had strawberries on the other side. Which side do I want to use? Oh, well, that's throwing a spanner in the works. Maybe we'll use the strawberries because I haven't used the strawberries. I did not realise. You're tricking me, Lydia. You're giving me options with my scraps. Right, and I'm just going to stick it at this end because this is the way it's facing. Bit of the magazine, which is cool. That's a tag. I don't want to rip up the tag. Some serviette. Maybe some of this. I think this is from Lydia. May have accidentally ended up here out of my own scraps. I can't remember. So scraps do tend to get a bit muddled after a month of working with them and grabbing between mine and Lydia's. They've kind of cross-contaminated each other. I was trying to keep them separate, but you know, best laid plans and all that. Right, what haven't I used? This pretty bit of wallpaper. Although I'd really like to fussy cut that flower, so maybe I'll save that. What else have we got here? Oops, it's all moving away from me as I try and fossick through it. It's all like getting shuffled. Okay, maybe a bit of this. Want the wood grain? Let's do the wood grain for a change. because I've used a bit of this before, but I used the green side. So is that wide enough? Not quite, so we'll go with this one and use the wood grain side. So I have not chosen colours or anything to match. I'm just using scraps. I'm grabbing randomly what I might like without any thought to colour, because you know, sometimes it's just fun to break out and not worry about being matchy or whether it goes together, whether you're using the colour palette, the colour wheel appropriately. Sometimes you just want to throw things down with a bit of glue. And Scrappy September is an awesome time to play with that and not worry too much about, you know, being particularly technical with how you blend things together. On the other hand, if you do want to do that, if that's what makes you happy, then absolutely go with that. Right, so I'm just trimming up to the edges of my base paper and making my scissors all lovely and gluey at the same time. Right, I'm just going to put you on pause to do the rest of those and also to grab a drink to try and ease my throat for a second. I'll be back. Okay, I am back and I've got those all trimmed up, and I had originally not collaged the end of the strip, and I took the opportunity to go ahead and do that just in case I needed it. I don't think I will, but just in case. And I also grabbed out some embroidery thread and a needle, because I have an idea. I don't know whether it's going to work, but I have an idea, so I'm going to see. Now you will notice maybe that these are not the same width, and that was part of the plan. I did not care that they were different widths, because it does not matter for this. So now I want to try and measure up. So what I might do is grab my tacky glue and glue along the edge of my paper here. And the butterflies go that way up. Not that there's a whole butterfly there, but let's just put them up the right way. Right, so there's that bit. And do I want to overlap them the same way or differently? Oh, so many decisions. No, I'm going to do them the same way. Oops, my glue is volcanoing out the top. It's quite warm in here because I've got the fire going, but I've been feeling cold because of, you know, not being well and stuff. And obviously my glue is feeling warm. Because it tends to volcano when it's warm. Right, so I still need to back this because I do think I'll journal on the back of it. So I'll do that as well. Yeah, so I don't, maybe I do want that bit, because I like the glitter paper. I don't want to lose the glitter paper. So try and wipe off the side of the tip of my glue where it's all spilling out. this bit. Oh, there's a big noisy car outside. It'll be the neighbours across the road. They quite often have a visitor with a big loud noisy car. Oops, stick down the colourful side, the more colourful side. Okay, so now we've got our certificate framed. And I need to deal with these bits. So what I'm thinking is kind of give them like a little banner edge by cutting out a little V. Oops. Tips of these scissors don't meet quite properly when you're cutting into things. Not trying to make them even or anything, just decorative. Just a bit different, you know, to having a squared off end. I just felt like doing something a tad more creative and interesting. I don't know, maybe it will look completely ridiculous and I'll end up trimming them off. Who knows? But it's only for my journal. Like, I want to be proud of this because I've put work into Scrappy September and work into creating the digital and things, but you know, it is for my journal, so if it's not the prettiest thing in the world, it doesn't matter. It's just part of my exploration. Right, so all those bits I'm going to just put in the bin because they're multiple layers that are too thick for anything else. And I actually don't mind that so far. I was going to ink around everything but forgot. So, never mind. We'll move on. So, I don't know whether this is going to make things worse or better. But I'm playing. And this is a scrap of embroidery cotton of a colour that's you can no longer buy. So let's use it because it's still a scrap. Now do I want to cover that first? Probably want to cover that first. And close my glue because it's still volcanoing out the top like mad. So do that first. Reaching over, actually I think I've got another piece here that's already cut. Got some brown paper. No, I can't see it. Okay, we'll use this one. Brown paper bag from Prescription my husband picked up for me yesterday, was it? I think. Giant paper bag. It's got this really cool pattern on one side. Sorry about the noise. There's not too much I can do about the noise of the paper bag. I'm just going to cut a section out. Plain to use. I love using paper bags. Brilliant source for writing paper, for collage, and I actually love that noise. So if you don't love that noise, I apologise, but I love that noise. And so I just had to have a bit of crinkle going on there for a second. Right. Where did I put my ruler? Oh. So just going to tear it down and glue it on. And I'm not worrying about it being straight either. More scraps. Tell you, as fast as you deal with scraps, you create more. See my glue tip? That's all spilled out all over the top. So I need to give it a jolly good clean, otherwise it's going to end up gluing itself shut or something silly like that. Or just clog up so that the glue doesn't come out. go from one extreme to the other, from it just coming out when you don't want it to come out to not coming out when you do want it. I guess most glues are like that, like, you know, just when you need them, you're holding something in a precarious position to apply the glue so it doesn't move on you, and your glue won't come out. Right, there you go. So backing paper is in place. Cool. And it's still pouring out the top and all over my fingers. Okay. Oh, I missed one of the ends. You were probably telling me that, weren't you? Missed one. Oh. Yep, just doesn't want to cut at the tips of the scissors. There we go. So some of them are a bit longer, some of them are a bit shorter. That's all good. All part of being scrappy, I think. So what I'm thinking, just for added, oops, that didn't go in where I thought it was going to go in. Just for added detail, which is totally unnecessary, but I just want to do it, and so I'm gonna. Oops, no, that was totally in the wrong place. Okay, these are going to be wonky crosses, totally. There we go. And I think I might even glue this to the page. So hopefully I've got enough cotton. I have got some more of this, but I was hoping to get it all out of the one piece, and I think I might struggle with that. Sorry, I may have been off camera there. My apologies. I just thought this would add a little bit of fun texture and detail. Oh, it's quite hard to push it through all those layers. Yeah, so I've backed it with writing paper, and now I think I've changed my mind on what I'm going to do. So grab out my washi. And I'm just going to tape down the ends of those threads, just so they don't come out on me while I'm handling it, because I haven't knotted them. I don't know, maybe I can still write on the back and hinge it in. I'm changing my mind every 2 seconds. That's what it feels like anyway. Because it doesn't matter if it's scrappy on the back, does it? I think not. Right. Yes, I think I'm only going to get one more out of this bit, so I'll have to thread up my needle again. Sorry, back in camera would be a good idea. Oh, that's hard getting through that cardstock. Oops, don't get caught up on my little banner peaks. Pushing the tape around it, make sure it holds those threads in place. Right, now I've got 3 little single bits here, so just bear with me a moment. I'm going to put them together because I used three strands together. Put these ones together. They're all different lengths. So I think 2 of them are the same length, so I'll just trim them to be the same length. I've got a needle here that's got quite a big eye, so it's nice and easy to thread, but it also means the needle's quite big and hard to push through all the layers. But, you know, can't have everything easy in life, so why not make things hard on myself? Ow, that was hard. And last bit coming up here. There we go. Because they've all been separated, they're not laying nicely together like they would normally. Right, trim that off a little bit. There we go. And trim off just a few ends there that are hanging over. There we go, there's my framed certificate. So I think that's pretty cute. It's not going to win any art awards, but that was not my intention, so I'm all good with that. So I don't know which page it's going to go on yet. Probably this one. So I might have to trim it down a little to make it fit, although I don't mind if it hangs over a tad. And it actually takes up a whole page, so I might have to trim off a couple of points just so I can hinge it. So take off one side, whichever one I do it sideways, I think, because it's not going to fit that way. So if you're concerned about size, then just make a narrow frame around it, or make it bigger and make it so that it hinges to your page. It's all good. So I think I'd probably do it like that, trim off these points here so I can hinge it with some washi tape to the side of my page, and then I've got journaling space here as well as on the pages underneath. So there we go, there is my Scrappy September certificate, the last Scrappy Action for September 2022. I really hope you've enjoyed this series. Lydia and I have absolutely adored bringing you all the videos and collaborating together, coming up with ideas and producing these free printables for you. So pop along, grab your free printables, check out the other Scrappy September videos if you haven't seen them, and be inspired. I hope you are inspired by what we've brought to you, using up your scraps, dealing with some of that endless bin of scraps we all have. So that's it for today, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for joining me. Bye.